What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Patience with Paige, and today we're going to be talking through my reading statistics for Q1. I'm going to shuffle to the side before I forget so I can actually put the images of the stats that we talk about beside me here. And today I want to talk through my reading stats for the first quarter of 2024. I will reference some of my older stats, but I sort of just want to have this as a cumulative total for where I'm at this point in time and not go too much into the years previous. I will make mention to some that are interesting, but for the most part, I just want to talk through this in a pretty rapid fire summative format. For this, I will also have a video coming out on Friday. That will be my reading goals check-in. So this is sort of my second part of my Q1 review videos, and I just really enjoy doing these videos, so let's talk about what the stats are. I won't be going into each month by month breakdown, the number of books, the pages and all of that, because I do that in my monthly wrap-ups, so they will be there. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm thinking about changing up my wrap-up. So if you would like to let me know how you find my wrap-ups, I'd really appreciate it. I'm also thinking I'm going to make a community post for it, but I thought I'd just ask. Basically what I love doing is having a collation of my monthly stats in one video, but I'm not articulate anyway. So when I'm wrapping up the books, I don't feel like you're getting any value from me. So would you be okay if I just said this was the ranking of the books and here is a correlative noise associated with it, because I can do that rather than actually talking about the book and my reading experience with it, because I've noticed that the way that I read books is I'm more consuming them than actually reading them. So when I go to say things about them a month after the fact, I have zero information to give you. So is what I'm providing helpful to you, or would you just prefer for it to be super quick, super short, with the stats, the ranking that they go in rather than in chronological order, and some fun little thing of a way of summarizing how I felt about it without going into detail about what the book actually is about. I know that sort of makes wrap-ups redundant, but I've been doing the vlogs and I was like, check out my vlogs for more information. I'm like, no, I don't have thoughts in those either. Let me know what you think. Into the statistics for the first quarter of 2024. How are we already at this point? The number of books that I read is 38, which equated to 13,408 pages. I have listened to 118 hours through audiobooks and loving it. I have been more round up, round down this year, so it's sort of leaning more towards, okay, if I read for 2 hours and 1 minute of this audiobook, it's just put as 2 hours. If I read for 2 hours and 25 minutes, I put it as 2.5, that sort of thing. I have acquired 30 books, which is definitely more than 2023, which was 19, but still less than 2022, which was 38. Obviously, I love that I have my birthday in here, so the large majority of these have been gifts. I did go on a Depop splurge, but for the most part, I love that, you know, people are kind enough to send me a present to say happy birthday or just thanks for being my friend. And I love that, and I don't want to not have people in my life that I can send gifts to and they can send gifts to me, but it was just like my splurging side of things got a little out of control. But I'll talk more about that in my goals check-in. And I haven't done a single reread, and there is definitely reasoning behind that. Also, I just haven't felt the need to. There's been nothing on my radar that I've wanted to reread. In terms of format, I haven't read a single ebook. I have listened to 3 audiobooks. I have read 10 physical books. I have done the ebook and audiobook combination for 1 book, and no surprises, 22 physical audiobook combinations. In terms of my audience, 22 of the titles have been adult. New adult, I've had 2. YA has made a resurgence of 12, and I've read 2 middle grades, and that is it, which is mind-blowing. I've also removed the children's tab from this year. It's just not really relevant for me. I'll figure out if it falls more middle grade or young adult. Now, where have I read these books from? 10.5% have been library books. There's been 1 from Eversand. 86.9% have come from my owned TBR, which was 28 books on my backlist and then reading 5 that I have acquired in 2024, which at this point last year, I'd read 66% from my own TBR, and it's now 87%. And I still I'm chugging away at it because my haul has balance, Paige, balance. In terms of where I listen to my audiobooks from, 50% have been from Libby, which is so much shorter than 2023, and I'm so sad about it. I don't know what's going on with me, because unfortunately, 28.6% have come from Audible. I just have picked up things that I haven't been able to get my hands on Libby, either in time or at all, and so I end up using the credits from Audible. Ash also is finishing his subscription with Audible, so he's like, please use my account, use my credits. And so I've been using it that way, but I also just am like, oh no, we were doing so good. Because this has been at 85% before. So hopefully in the latter half of this year, I'll be able to get those numbers back up. BorrowBox, I am at 17.9%, which is great. And then I have the one book from Eversend, but that is what it is. Hopefully by the end of this year, I will be able to have my library more up and my Audible staying where it is. I'm not sure how this is going to go with reading the Throne of Glass series, because at the moment I've only been able to get the audiobooks from Audible, so we'll see what happens with that. In terms of series, I just love the note that I've put for myself in this. I've read 1 companion novel, I've read 13 standalones, which is 34.2%, and my note is, how does this always happen? Because in 2023 it was 36.1%, and I'm genuinely trying to read my series continuations. But I also do have this entire backlog behind me that are all standalone novels, or majority, and when doing 1 week, 1 shelf, we don't always end up with the shelves that we think we're going to end up with. So that is where that comes into it, but just goddamn. I have started 4 novel series. I definitely think this is more than 2023, but I don't actually have the statistic. I didn't talk about it in my stats wrapper, so that's fun. I've also started 2 new manga series, and I've started separating these out. I don't separate out the continuations, but in terms of starting, I just want to know where it falls, because I have my novel spreadsheet and then I have my manga spreadsheet. And I'm happy to continue with any series, and if I finish off a manga series, that is fine. I just wanted to have that tab of what I was starting. So in terms of continuations, I've read 13, which is the 34.2%. So on par. Why am I like that? I've caught up on 2 series and I finished 3. For that math, I have made continuation plus progress in 47.4% of the reads that I have been picking up in the last quarter. So just under half. And if I was to include the started as parts of series, why am I like this? I knew that this year was definitely going to have more starts to series, with my book haul revisited, my friends picking series, and quite a few of those I hadn't started or will consequently be starting. But I'm having a great time with that, so I'm not mad. I just like to bump it up that little bit more. In terms of pages, 60.5% of my reads have been over 300 pages, with none being under 100, which just, what? Whereas in 2023, 53% of my reads were over 300 pages. So I've bumped it up so much more, and I'm so happy. So with the pages breakdown per book, currently we're sitting at 350 pages per book, which is better and better, because in 2022, reading the Animorphs, it was 257 pages per book, and last year it was 331. So I'm getting there, I'm getting up there. It was also interesting seeing the amount of pages that I've read and where that all fluctuated. So I always find that stat really interesting, and I'm curious to see where we end the year. In terms of genres, 50% of my read genres are fantasy. I'm back, bitches. I've had 1 sci-fi, 1. That is it. There is no more Animorphs skewing these fucking stats. And that one was Ice Planet Barbarians, which goddamn are going to skew my stats for the 2nd quarter of the year. God damn it. Yeah, it's not influencing these. But following that, my next highest were 4 graphic novels and 4 mangas. So obviously with graphic novels and mangas, they are like contemporary or fantasy. I just have them separated out into their own chunks. And one of those was also a non-fiction graphic novel, which was really cool. I have had no 3-star reads, with 31.6% being 5 stars, which means my average rating is a 4.33. It's definitely felt like an odd year, and I think I've spoken about it in the quarter year crisis tag, but it's just been a really weird reading year for me. And I'm not sure why, but it's just the way that it's gone. I'm still obviously enjoying the things that I'm picking up, and I definitely haven't picked up bad books, which I don't usually do. I know my reading enough to know that this is going to work or it's not. Obviously you're going to have surprises in there, but is what it is. I haven't found anything drastically shocking. So overall, I've had a really good year, but my actual reading in terms of my personal pages per day is so skewed because I have been binging and reading like 500 in a day and then not reading for 2 weeks, and it goes how it goes. But it's just been very surprising, and I'm very curious to do my goals check-in because, oh god, that's a thing. And I'm just picking up things that I'm excited to read, but I'm also having a little bit of a reader crisis because I feel like the 5-star reads that I have given have all been continuations of series from authors that I love. Nothing aside from How High We Go in the Dark has really surprised me in the highest rating. Apologies, I kicked the tripod while attempting to get this. So literally for my 5 stars, it was Jade City and How High We Go in the Dark that are new to me authors that I've given 5 stars to. So the rest of it are all continuations of series, catching up with them, and Debbie Tongue, which is a non-fiction memoir about them dealing with anxiety. So it's just interesting thinking on that and seeing how nothing's quite hitting the mark except for the old favorites. And I want to change that. I have had quite a few 4.5s that have surprised me and I'm very happy with, but yeah, it's just, I want to sink my teeth into it and nothing's hitting that at the moment. Which, speaking of, I don't think I actually wrote this down. I have read 65.8% of authors that I've read from before, and 34.2% are new to me. So I'm happy with that because I obviously want to be continuing in this series, so that means I have read from the author before. And I think that's everything. It's just been a very interesting start to the year, and whilst I'm really happy with the progress that I've made for a lot of my goals and how I want my reading to be reflected, it's been interesting. It's definitely been different from what I anticipated, and I'm not having a bad time, but it's just different, and I'm still conceptualizing that. I also think I definitely had the quarter year crisis, realizing with my bookish peeps just the level of intensity that I've signed myself up for this year. And I'm not mad because I am so fucking thrilled at my friends for throwing chaos my way. I asked for it, but it's just like every time I look at my TBR, I'm like, right, okay, we need to prioritize this, 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 and this, which is counteractive to this, 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 and this. So, is what it is. I've made these choices. Everything's arbitrary. I'm not mad at it. It's just one of those things that you notice yourself drifting into these different headspaces, and it's like, oh, okay, this is fascinating. Why are we going over here? And that's the reason why. That is my rapid fire stats for the first quarter of 2024. Like I said, I am having a great reading year. I have been picking up good stuff. I'm not picking up bad stuff. It's just nothing new and shiny. And I want new and shiny at the moment. I'm like, gimme, gimme, gimme. So if you have any recommendations, feel free to leave them down below. And I've been really enjoying the vlogs that I've put out. Obviously not doing it for April. I probably should be doing it for April because I apparently don't read if I don't vlog anymore, but that's fine. We'll get there. But yes, let me know in the comments anything you want to let me know about your reading stats. Where are you leaning? Is there any standout stats that you're just like, yes, that you've been craving to reach? For me, it was having that 50% fantasy back. Like, oh, so exciting. But yeah, anything you want to let me know, leave it down in the comments. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe. I'll hopefully see you on my next video. Bye!